Well, Mark, that was as good as we've seen you for a very long time, wasn't it?
It was a very good performance, yeah. I thought the intent the boys showed around the attacking mindset was first class, but obviously it's the execution that you need and the discipline and the composure to do it, and I thought that was equally as good, particularly in the first half. So we talked around, being brave and trying to move the ball, trying to score more points, and I think the boys are enjoying themselves doing it, which is a pleasure to watch.
The style of play, Mark, just the backs and forwards linking up, 6 tries, that's something you're trying to bring in here. It seems to be noticeable how sort of expansive you're playing and how cohesive the attacking game is.
Yeah, we are. I'm glad you're noticing it. It's something that we definitely are trying to do. Something I feel passionate about. I want us to be brave with the ball. I want us to entertain the crowd. I wanted to do it, but also win games, because there's always the balance around that. And I think the players have embraced the little bits and pieces that myself and the coaches have tried to add and layer into our game, and I'm just pleased for them, because they're ultimately the ones out there performing, that it's they feel they're excited about executing it. And actually the pleasing thing as well today was we actually lost our way a little bit at the beginning of the second half with the weather, and the opposition got niggly around the breakdown, but I thought our composure, we stayed disciplined around what we were trying to do, and then we got back to what we were doing well at the start, which was attacking them.
And your bread and butter defensive as well, obviously Lil, but also like the effort of someone like Lewis Lloyd, that final tackle at the end of the first half to get back there. And obviously he's done himself an injury, but that sort of typifies the character as well. Yeah,
look, the systems defensively that we install, and I trust those systems because obviously my job depends on them. So, but you need players that have got capability, have got the mindset to execute them, and I'm very fortunate here that at this moment in time, since I've been at the Ospreys, those two things have married up well, and the boys really care about their performance as an individual, but they care about the guy next to them, and they work particularly hard for each other. And I always felt today that would set us apart from Benetton, is how much we were going to be prepared to work for each other, and it summed it up both sides of the ball, as you said.
Lewis, okay? He looked nasty.
Yeah, we took him off as a precaution because he was limping at half time. We don't take any risks with Sam being away and Dewi being away as well. So he's been assessed now. He's got a little bit of an ankle issue there, and obviously we'll know over the next 48 hours the extent of that. But he's not as bad as perhaps we first thought, but obviously it's early days, too early to say.
How's Dewi's progress? Because he's always you said he sometimes comes back quickly.
Yeah, look, I've only been in sort of recently in text contact with Dewi. I haven't spoken to him face to face, but the word from our physios, who are obviously liaising with the Welsh physios, is that he's progressing well, and they're hoping that they can get him into a situation to play some rugby during the Six Nations, which would be great. But obviously we're all pretty keen to make sure it's not a detriment to Dewi. We want to make sure that he comes through this and he's able to play for the rest of the season.
Reuben, Ospreys now under Mark, unbeaten in 5. Are you enjoying the system and the way that it's been gone since the last few weeks?
Well, yeah, being unbeaten is it's pretty good, to be fair. It's been a good block. Boys have really bought in, and it's been slow drip feed of different things that we obviously want to improve on, and it is showing on the field. So yeah, we're enjoying it.
Yeah, what do you put tonight's performance down to? Because not hardly any teams now 43-0 against Benetton.
Probably just the speed that we probably started. After we had a little hiccup the first 5 minutes, I'd say, and then just the speed we want to do things, and Boise touched on how hard the boys work, which obviously makes it a lot easier then. But the way we're playing, we're getting more width on the ball, and it's good.
You've been trying to persuade Mark, your captain, to not retire at the end of the season.
He's not bad, is he? He's not bad. If he can coach as well as he plays, we'll be all right. The defence is in good hands. I did remind him, that he's got a tough act to follow. There's a nil. So, look, Justin's a great guy first and foremost. He sets a standard around his work ethic, around his detail, and I spoke in the week around it. He will help anybody in the group to get better, whether they're competing for his shirt or in another position. But you'll have to outwork him to get it, and you can see today is a little reminder for the young boys there that have getting a few names in lights recently that you're going to have to play pretty well to get this shirt off me before the end of the year, which I think only breeds healthy encouragement to those players, because he's part of what's gone before him. He's passing that on now to the next crop, and I'm excited about bringing him into the coaching group, and hopefully he can he can springboard all that talent that he's got into his next role at the end of the year.
Final one for me, Mark. An excellent performance tonight. It was played in front of less than 3,000. Your squad putting in a performance like that, probably many would say deserve to be playing in front of more. What would you say to the fans who come back now for the second half of the season now when you've got some home games here?
Well, look, it's our job to put a style of rugby on the field that people get excited about watching. That's winning rugby will pull people through the gates. But watching good style of rugby with winning or losing is obviously, it's a win-win situation. So we definitely want to entertain more. If we're entertaining and playing well and winning more than we're losing, there's no reason why you can't come down to the Swansea.com or St Helens moving forward, or the Brewery if we end up there at any point. We want people to have a great day out. And obviously it's capped off. Winning obviously makes it that little bit better.
Thank you.
Mark, with Tips, is it a case of enjoying him while he's still putting his boots on? Players like that don't come along too often, do they?
No, I probably failed to mention in my last answer that he's just got things. He's just doing things. You can coach him, but really he's probably doing them when he was 10 years old. The pass for Kasande's try is just incredible. His awareness to know that he's there, but then to deliver it into the correct space under the pressure he's under, it just sums him up, doesn't it? But his competitiveness, he's tough. He's so smart around the contact area. He's got so much to offer the team, and there's the challenge now moving forward. Who's going to step into those boots at the end of the year? Who thinks they can step into those boots before the end of the year? Who wants to try and get that shirt off him without him retiring it? There's a challenge. He's putting a challenge down to the group. He's incredible. Just wants to keep getting better all the time. Just wish we could clone him up and start again. I'm not sure if that's under the rules of WADA.
Reuben, you've played with him a good few years now. Can you try, for people who never have, to explain what it's like?
Best player I've played with. He's got it all in there. He can play any position on the field. Probably take the 9 jersey off me if you want to do that. He's phenomenal. He's been the best since I've been here. So.
That's nice. Mark, you touched on your TV interview. I think Leinster and Glasgow next, first and second in the league. You've been sort of testing yourself as you've gone along.
Yeah.
And obviously it's 6 Nations period, but that's a real barometer for you, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. You want to measure yourselves against the best, and both teams will have international players missing in those blocks. So you are testing yourself against the best in the competition as it stands. So look. Those games, we'll take them one at a time. If you win them or lose them, it's not the be all and end all, but it will be a nice little yardstick to see how much growth we've had in both sides of the ball. One at home and one away, and look, it's up to the squad. This squad can decide how good they want to be in the next 2 or 3 years. They're a young, they're a young bunch. They're predominantly local. They really like each other. The guys that have not been born here or are not sort of Welsh qualified. They love being in the environment. They've taken to the group very well, and they mix in. They're a good mix for the homegrown boys, and everybody's contributing. So we just want to enjoy this win. We'll have a little bit of downtime this week. We'll have a good training week, and then that'll lead into Leinster, and we've got to try and do it again.
We were talking in the box there about 2 of those guys who have come from outside Boshoff and Kasende. They don't seem to make many mistakes.
Yeah, they're great lads. Reuben will talk probably a bit more around them in terms of their personalities. Away from training, because obviously what you see as the coach, the defence coach or the head coach, it's not always the 100% picture. But what I find with them, very, very honest. Avadi was very disappointed over Christmas. He didn't get much game time, and but he understood why. He understood the games were close, and he understood they were derbies and why. And the challenge I said to him is like, just when you get your opportunity, mate, just prove me that I should be putting you on. And what he's done has been class. He's been arguably one of our best players in the last couple of weeks in the last 3 games. So all credit to him, and obviously Daniel self-named the postman because he always delivers. He's yeah, exactly. He's delivering around what he's on the field to do. He's great in the air. He's physical in defence. He finishes when he gets opportunities. He's a great lad. So we love having him in here. They've really taken to the group well, and we've taken to them.
Lastly, Reuben, Tip said in his interview that you're playing, or he's playing, as a group, you're playing with smiles on your faces. Does that sum it up quite well?
I think when you score 6 tries, and it's probably the way we're playing as well. It's not just winning. If you're moving the ball and making line breaks and scoring tries, it is enjoyable. It's why you want to play, and also to get a 0 encouraging for the boys from a defensive point of view.
Probably just like that. Like Benetton are a really good side, and like I haven't spoke much around them. Like we really respect them. As much as I'm proud of the 0, I know how hard we've had to work for that. Mark will be really disappointed. I know he will, because they're a side that it's actually playing a lot of 15-man rugby. They've beaten the 2-time European champions last weekend, so like that says it all. And a lot of those players involved today were involved in that game. Was it 7? Was it? Yeah. So it's awesome detail from you there. So like 7 started. So that shows the quality of what we had to do, what we're up against today. And you could see by the opening 10 minutes, as Reuben mentioned, they were up for the game. They did not turn up. They arrived here Tuesday or Wednesday. They were well prepared. So we know that they'll be gunning for us the next time we come across them. So we just need to make sure we enjoy this, but be respectful around. We know what's going to be coming next time we play them.
Mark, following on from that, apart from that first the disallowed try from them, I can't think of an opportunity where they threatened the try line. How pleasing is that from your perspective? Yeah,
it's really pleasing. It's actually one of the areas that we targeted. So we know statistically, if we could get into their 22, that there's opportunity to convert against them. And I think at half time we were 24 points there. We were pretty much 4 entries, 4 points sort of back off the back of them, 3 tries and a kick, a goal. So I was really pleased with how ruthless we were in there, because against the better sides you don't get many goals, and you need to be ruthless. And likewise, we know they're a good side, very, very attack minded. They've got a good set piece, but they've got an awful lot of physical threats, ball carry, and people like Fekatoa are dangerous with offloading. So to limit them and the opportunity to get in and around our 22 was important, and the boys did a great job of that.
And Reuben, just to ask, from a player's perspective, how different a challenge was that sort of weather towards the 30-minute mark, because you scored 3 tries and you had to sort of deal with tricky conditions?
Yeah, it came down pretty heavy, to be fair, and it did slow us down a little bit. We did, obviously, the first 30 we wanted to play with a lot of speed, which we were, but probably had to adapt a little bit with the kicking game. But we still had the emphasis that we wanted to play, because probably a little purple patch after the half time where we weren't playing enough, and we probably kick in maybe a little too loosely as well. So yeah, it was tough to gauge the right balance, but I think the boys got there in the end. They pushed through it, and yeah, it worked.
Mark, just want to go quickly. Dewi and Jack signing new contracts in the last couple of weeks. How big a boost is that, and what does that say for the club going forward?
Oh, it's huge. They're 2 of our best players. They're our international players, Welsh captains. So I think the message that they're sending to the club is huge. Around they want to be here, and they want to be putting the Osprey shirt on moving forward. And likewise, our intent to keep them. It's difficult at the moment, with the financial market, to keep all your best players, but the work that the club's doing there around that's class, and we want to keep those boys for a long time. We want to be able to keep all of the likes of Reuben, the young talent that's coming through. We want them to be here for a long time so we can enjoy the work that we're putting into them, and we want these boys to pass it on like Tips is doing now to the next group that come in, and those 2 are the first stage of that. So it's huge. We're excited about it, and they're up there in the stand tonight watching. Like they're dead keen to be here watching and supporting the boys, and boys put on a good show for them.